When was the last time you felt something that made you forget, even for just a moment, that you were 70? Not a distraction, not something that numbed the awareness of your age, but something that lit you up so completely from the inside that time seemed to stop its counting for a little while. That kind of joy is not something most people expect to find in abundance at this stage of life. And yet there are people at 70 and beyond who still experience it regularly, quietly, and with a depth that younger people have not yet earned. If you are one of them, this video was made entirely for you. There is a belief that settles over many people as they grow older, a quiet and largely unquestioned assumption that joy is something that naturally belongs more to the young, that the capacity to feel genuinely lit up by life is something that fades gradually and gracefully as the decades pass. But this is simply not true, and the evidence for that truth lives inside the people who disprove it every single day. At 65 and beyond, joy does not disappear. It deepens, it shifts, and for the people whose spirits are still truly alive, it arrives in ways that are richer and more meaningful than anything they felt at 30. This video is here to help you recognize that you may be one of those people. Point 1. You still feel genuine excitement when you have something to look forward to. Think about the last time you had something coming up that made the days before it feel a little brighter. A visit from someone you love, a trip you had been planning for months, a simple lunch with an old friend you had not seen in too long, a book you had just ordered that was already waiting on your nightstand. If the anticipation of something good still produces a real and recognizable feeling of excitement inside you, not just a mild acknowledgement that something pleasant is approaching, but an actual lifting of your whole mood in the days before it arrives, your spirit is operating with a vitality that is genuinely worth celebrating. Anticipation is one of the most underappreciated forms of joy that exists, because it is joy that arrives before the event itself even begins, which means it effectively doubles the happiness a single good thing can bring into your life. People whose inner lives have grown dim tend to stop looking forward to things because the effort of hoping feels greater than the reward of receiving. But people whose spirits are still young at 70 find that the world ahead of them still holds things worth waiting for, and that waiting itself carries a warmth that colors their ordinary days with something extra. If tomorrow still holds something that makes today feel meaningful, your spirit is very much alive. And if anticipation still arrives naturally for you, the second joy is one that speaks to something even deeper and more enduring than any single event on a calendar. Point 2. You still laugh until your whole body is involved, and the moment feels completely free. There is a particular kind of laughter that is not polite and not performative. It is the kind that arrives without permission, the kind that takes over your shoulders and your eyes and your breath all at once, the kind that leaves you slightly breathless and entirely happy in a way that nothing else quite replicates. If you still experience that kind of laughter regularly, if there are still people and moments in your life that can pull that response out of you without any effort at all, you are carrying something inside you that age has simply not been able to touch. Laughter of that quality is not something that can be manufactured or maintained through willpower. It arises naturally in people whose spirits are still open and still genuinely responsive to the absurdity and delight that life continues to offer at every age. It means that somewhere inside you there is still a part that has not grown guarded, a part that is still willing to be caught completely off guard by something funny, and to surrender to it entirely without self-consciousness. That openness is one of the most beautiful signs that your inner life is still running at full depth, and the people around you almost certainly feel the warmth of it, even when they cannot name exactly what it is. Before we move on, I want to ask you a gentle question. What is one thing in your life right now that still makes you laugh in that completely free and unguarded way? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video is helping you, please like it, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the Wisdom Vault. Also, please watch until the very end, because the points ahead are just as important and may truly make a difference in your life. That quality of open and unguarded joy connects beautifully to the third experience, and this one is about a very specific kind of happiness that only comes from something entirely outside yourself. Point 3. The success and happiness of someone you love still fills you with a joy that feels almost too big to contain. Walter, a 73-year-old man from North Carolina, had a moment he described to his daughter as the happiest of his entire life. It did not happen on a milestone birthday or a holiday or any occasion that the world would have marked as significant. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon when his youngest grandson called to say he had been accepted into the college he had worked toward for 3 years. Walter said he sat in his kitchen chair for a long moment after the call ended and felt something so full inside his chest that he did not quite know what to do with it. He said it was better than any joy he had ever felt for himself, and he meant it entirely. That experience of feeling someone else's happiness as though it were your own, and feeling it even more intensely than you might feel something that happened directly to you, is one of the most spiritually advanced forms of joy a human being can experience. It means that your heart has grown large enough and generous enough to hold more than your own story inside it. It means that love has deepened in you to the point where the boundaries between your happiness and the happiness of the people you cherish have become beautifully blurred. If you recognize that feeling, you are experiencing something that many people live an entire lifetime without ever fully arriving at. And while that kind of joy comes from the people closest to your heart, the fourth experience is one that arrives from something much quieter and much more unexpected. Point 4. You still feel a sudden and unexplained lift in your spirit. On a beautiful day, there are mornings that arrive with a particular quality of light that seems to do something to the air itself. A coolness that carries just enough warmth in it. A sky that is exactly the right shade of blue. The smell of rain on dry ground, or the sound of wind moving through, leaves in a way that feels almost deliberate. And for some people these mornings produce something that rises without any logical reason, a sudden lightness, a feeling close to happiness but quieter and more expansive than that word usually suggests. If a beautiful day can still do that to you, your spirit is responding to life with a sensitivity that is genuinely extraordinary. The people whose spirits are still truly young at 70 are the ones who still look up, still notice, and still feel moved by what they see. That responsiveness is one of the most reliable signs that the deepest part of you is still fully and beautifully engaged with being alive. That quiet joy in a beautiful moment leads naturally into the fifth experience, which is perhaps the most personal and most profound of all. Point 5. You still feel a deep and settled sense of gratitude for your life, even on the ordinary days. Gratitude that arrives only on good days is a pleasant feeling, but gratitude that finds you on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon when nothing special is happening, that is something else entirely. It is a sign that you have made peace with the full story of your life and found something genuinely worth cherishing in exactly where you are right now. This is not the gratitude of someone who has had an easy life. It is the gratitude of someone whose spirit has done the quiet work of finding meaning in all of it, and who has arrived at 70 with a heart more open and more thankful than ever before. If you recognize that feeling, even occasionally, you are carrying something truly rare inside you. If these 5 joys still visit you, please hear this clearly. Your spirit has not aged the way the world might have led you to expect. The excitement, the laughter, the happiness you feel for others, the beauty that still moves you, and the gratitude that finds you on ordinary days are together the portrait of a spirit that is still completely alive. That is not ordinary. That is extraordinary. Please share this with someone you love, give it a like, and subscribe to the Wisdom Vault. We are always here, and we are always thinking of you.